1,000 ways to die. Choose one.
We have so many things that can kill us in this country. Being in this country, you are a candidate for death. And because there's so many things competing for death, there's nothing wrong with adding GMO to that list. That is why we have deliberately decided to allow GMOs into this country.
And from Moses Kuria's sentiments, it is evidently clear that among the 1,000 ways to die, the Kenyan government has decided to settle on the issue of the genetically modified organisms. Moses Kuria's sentiments cannot be factually disputed simply because that's the reality that Kenyans are dying of hunger. But before we dissect into the facticity of Moses Kuria's sentiments, if you're watching me for the very first time, kindly please consider hitting on the subscribe button. If you've been watching my videos and you have not subscribed, kindly please consider hitting on the subscribe button. And more so, if you're watching me from a different platform, either Telegram, TikTok or Facebook, kindly please just head on to YouTube, search for Mohamed Sudi. I'll be the first right person to pop up. If matters socio-economic and political matters are your great areas of concerns, kindly please consider hitting on the subscribe button so that each and every time that I upload a new video, it will automatically reflect on your notification panel. And by so doing, you'll simply be supporting my content. Have you asked yourself why recently Bill Gates came to Kenya? Personally, I believe he came to Kenya simply to fast-track the introduction of the genetically modified organisms before Kenya thought of changing its mind. Because if you've been keenly following his statements at the University of Nairobi, he was politely advocating for the use of the GMOs.
Crops in the West are GMO crops. The West is totally GMO, because that's the most productive. That's what has the disease resistance. Organic food is a small part of the market that's very expensive. But you know, every piece of bread I've ever eaten is high productivity wheat, GMO wheat. Every piece of corn I've ever eaten is GMO corn. So these are things that billions of years of using these products have been done. Could be, anyway, these are proven products. Nobody's trying to take something that hundreds of millions of people haven't already been eating with a perfect safety record.
Essentially, have you also asked yourself why he came immediately when the ban on the GMO was lifted? It's simple. Businessmen worldwide will always want to use each and every opportunity that comes across them. And that is why I believe, unlike what you are being reported that he had come for some research matters or research affairs, I believe if it were indeed for the research institutions, he also owns the Bill and Melinda Research Institution. If it were matters research, then he will use his research institution to advocate for the same. But he came personally, I believe, to trade with the current government. I strongly believe he came to sign treaties with the government on matters GMO products, simply because had it not been for that matter, then he would have come during Uhuru's tenure, but he didn't. Kenyans are hypocritical in nature. Imagine this. Kenyans have been consuming genetically modified organisms at their own expense, either knowingly or unknowingly, simply because I can give you a good example of the chicken that Kenyans go left, right and center buying. Today it is a 1-day-old chick. In 2 weeks time, it is a full-grown chicken or hen. They buy them, they use them and enjoy their meals. Where the irony comes in is now that the government has decided to lift the ban on the GMOs. To be specific, on maize, Kenyans are yelling at the top of their voices that what the government is trying to introduce to them is very harmful, of which I believe even before the ban, the GMOs were being consumed, the genetically modified products were being consumed, and we are yet to be told what were the side effects before the ban. Moses Kuria spoke in a political perspective. The scientists of Kenya haven't spoken anything concerning the introduction of the GMOs, and the molecular biologists haven't spoken anything yet. Does that assure Kenyans that the introduction of the GMOs are safe and good for consumption? Kenyans should be vigilant on this issue of GMO, simply because I know the political class is going to use it as a political tool to gain political mileage. And as I end this, kindly please don't forget to subscribe. And my word advice of the day to you is, thinking is difficult. That is why most people judge. Thank you, and may God bless you.